Hi, everybody. I wanted to open up this space and share a little bit about quarantine and being quarantined with your partner, and share a little bit about what's been up for me and Troy being in quarantine together. And also, would love to hear from all of you if you're in quarantine with your partner. How is it going? Where is it good? Where is it hard? Because for sure, we're in a very, very unique and interesting time. And for many of us, it means that suddenly we're on a very small space with our partner. For some of us, it means that suddenly we can't see our partner, right? Because we're in different places. So let me share you a little bit with you about how me and Troy have been doing, because it's been a very interesting ride the last 3 or 4 weeks. How long has it been now? Yeah, we were at different places, and we had planned to spend some time apart this month. So when all of this happened, I came back to Hawaii. We suddenly were 24/7 together again. We spent about 2 days ignoring each other a little bit, and then about another day fighting quite a bit, and then realized, okay, so we have this time now, we have this space now, we are here together now. So how are we going to use it? And we really realized that there had been quite a couple of things that had sort of piled up over the last, months, that have been busy and crazy, last year maybe even, that we just hadn't addressed yet, hadn't made the time and space yet. So we've been doing a lot of what we call clearings, like basically speaking what has been piled up, either like from the past, or little things that arise during the day, because when you're together like that much all the time, things pile up. There are like little annoyances, little irritations, and sometimes you can just breathe through them, let them go. But if not, it makes a lot of sense to do a clearing, because otherwise you get this sort of like annoyance in your relational field, or shutdown, or withdrawal. So I just want to share with you like one of our main communication tools. I bet all of you know it. I bet many of you don't always do it. I for sure don't. So that's why I want to share it with you. It's called reflective listening. When I first heard that, I thought that's really stupid. It sounds boring. I think I'm a good listener. I don't think I need that. But actually, as it turns out, I'm not such a good listener. So here's the thing: when we start clearing with each other, for example, Troy would do a clearing with me and say, hey, when I walk in the room and you don't look up from your computer, I feel like not really acknowledged. I feel rejected. I feel not good in my body, and I get a little bit like, what am I doing here? Um, if I was not reflective listening, which 99% of the time I'm not, if I don't remind myself, I would be preparing an answer inside. Like, what do you mean? I'm looking at you now, right? Why are you so sensitive? This is just your insecurity. I looked at you yesterday. You know that I love you. Like, whatever answer, defense, telling him that it's not the case, telling him that it's not my intention, basically telling him your experience does not make sense to me because it's not the case in my perception. This is not reflective listening. This is where an argument starts. This is where our hearts shut down a little bit. So, if I were to remind myself to listen, I would stop my inner response and actually listen. And then when he's done, I would ask him, okay, I heard you say when you walk in the room and I don't look up from my computer, you feel not seen, you feel a bit rejected. That's step one. Then I would try to validate and understand him and say something like, I understand that if you walk in the room and you feel like you're not even like acknowledged for the fact that you're walking in the room, it makes sense that you feel a little bit weird about it. I also understand that maybe you walked in the room to greet me or to tell me you love me or whatever, and that it feels extra disappointing that I'm not looking up from the computer, and that maybe you walked in the room and you felt a bit vulnerable and you needed some contact, and that it felt extra rejective that I didn't look up from the computer. So I try to really tell him and find a way in my inner perception as well of saying, hey, it makes sense. Whether or not it was actually the case, maybe I did look up, but like he just looked away when I looked up. Like it doesn't really matter what actually happened, but his perception makes sense. If he experienced that feeling, that makes sense. And then it's up to me to say, hey, that makes sense, rather than say, that's stupid. And this is what we do so often, and it's so awful. And when I started to realize how often I did it, I felt a bit embarrassed. Like, oh my God, I really don't give any space for your experience, right? So this is a way, and by the way, this I did not make up these steps. I draw a lot from Harville Hendrix, Getting the Love You Want. His book is really, really good if you want like step-by-step communication tools. So I highly recommend that. And there are many, many other resources out there. But for me and for us, like reminding ourselves to do this, like really literally mirroring back what the other said and then validating it. So saying, it makes sense. It makes sense that you feel that way. I understand that you feel that way. Oh, it's such a game changer. And I truly believe that this is why, like, this builds so much trust. Like, if I bring something and it's being heard, my whole body relaxes. And I know that my partner is on the same team. I know that they want to put in effort to hear me. And so I will very likely also start sharing deeper layers of maybe where I had been hurt like a month ago and I didn't quite dare to say it, or I didn't even quite realize it. Like deeper layers are surfacing if they feel that they have the space to be heard and seen. So what Troy and me have been doing basically is like taking like 15 minutes a day or so and just feel like, are there any clearings? Maybe it was from today, maybe it was from yesterday, maybe it was from 3 months ago, and it just surfaced in my awareness. And really like sticking to these steps, and we've been blown away by the amount of love and connection and also laughter. Like once you feel heard, oh my God, it's not such a big deal anymore. It's not such a problem anymore. And if I'm not heard, like I will stay resentful and I will feel like contracted and I won't, love with my open heart. So yeah, this has been such a helpful practice for us, and I hope, really hope for all of you couples that you're doing okay, that you'll implement some of this, that you'll find your specific ways into deeper intimacy and connection, because for sure this is a challenging time, and for sure there's a lot of opportunity as well. There's a lot of opportunity to review how we live and review how we love and how we show up in our relationships. So, sending you all so much love. Try it out, share with the world, and let me know how you're doing. Mwah!